armored trims is one of the coolest features in Minecraft 1.20, but they might be hard to find. Some of them you find in chests, others you find by using the new brush tool that was added in Minecraft 1.20, and you even get some from Elder Guardians. So in this video I will be showing you where to find every armored trim in Minecraft. These armored trims are set in any order, so starting with the sentry armored trim. To get this armored trim you will need to find the pillager outpost, and as you might know they only have one chest, and the chest only has a 25% chance of containing the sentry armored trim. But if you find it in a chest, the chest will contain 2 trims every time. The next armored trim on this list is the coast armored trim. You find them in shipwrecks, and like with the sentry trim they also spawn 2 at a time, but they are easier to find since they have a 16.7% chance of spawning, and with some shipwrecks generating with 3 chests you have a 50% chance of getting some. And well, as you can see I got 4 trims from this ship. The next trim is the wild armored trim. They look pretty cool, and this finally makes the jungle temple useful again. They have a 33% chance of generating in a chest, and each jungle temple have 2 chests, so you have a 66.6% chance of getting this armored trim. The next trim is the ward armored trim. This one is pretty hard to find since you need to loot the chest in an ancient city, and you only have 5% chance per chest of finding this armored trim. But as long as the warden doesn't get you, you should be just fine. But if you thought it was hard getting the ward trim, the next one will sound insane. The next trim is the silence armored trim. This is probably the hardest item to find in Minecraft at the moment, and it's also my favorite armored trim, but you will struggle a lot to get this one. They are also found in ancient city chests, but they only have a 1.2% chance per chest, and I had to loot 4 ancient cities to find a single one of these, so make sure to duplicate the armored trim as soon as you get it. Moving on to the Vex armored trim. This one is also pretty rare, but that's only because you find them in mansions, and a mansion doesn't have many chests, but it's a bit easier since they have a 50% chance of generating in a mansion chest. Our next armored trim is the first one you don't get in a chest. It's the host armored trim. You find this in another Minecraft 1.20 new structure, the Trails Ruin site. You will need a brush to get the host armored trim, so find one of these sites, dig down to the bottom, but be careful since you can break the armored trims if you use your shovel on suspicious gravel. So if you see some suspicious gravel, use your brush on it and you can get the host armored trim. You will get a lot of other items as well, but I'm sure you're looking for the host armored trim. Each suspicious gravel has an 8.3% armored trim drop rate. The next trim is the tie trim. You get them from Elder Guardians. Having looting 3 on your sword won't make your chances of getting them any better, but luckily they're not too hard to find since the Elder Guardian have a 20% chance of dropping a tie trim, and each ocean monument has 3 Elder Guardians, giving you a 60% chance per ocean monument. Going to the rip armored trim. To get this trim you need to go to the nether and find a nether fortress. This sounds pretty easy, but you can only get them from chests, and chests are pretty rare in a nether fortress. It also doesn't help that they only have a 6.7% chance of generating in a chest. But going back underground for our next armored trim, the wayfinder armored trim. For this one you'll once again need to find a trial ruin site and use your brush on some suspicious gravel. This does sometimes take long, but it will be worth it. The next armored trim is the eye armored trim. You have a 10% chance of getting them in a chest in a stronghold, but if you look inside a stronghold library chest, you have a 100% chance of getting one, and if a stronghold has 2 libraries like this one, you will get enough armored trims for a full armor set. Going to the race armored trim. You also find this in suspicious gravel, and it also has a drop rate of 8.3%. You also get them by using your brush on some suspicious gravel. Next we have the spire armored trim. So we've been into strongholds, monuments, temples, and even the nether, but for this armored trim you will need to go to the end city. They have a 6.7% chance of generating in a chest inside of the end city, so you will need to open a few chests to get one, but I'm sure the end loot will make it worth it. Going to the dune armored trim. You find it in a desert temple, and each chest have a 20% chance of having 2 dune armored trims, and since each desert temple has 4 chests you have an 80% chance of getting 2 dune armored trims. So just make sure not to step on the pressure plate since that might be a problem. The next armored trim is the sharper armored trim. For this one you'll once again need to find a trial ruin site, and you use your brush on some suspicious gravel. Like with the other 3 armored trims, this one has a drop rate of 8.3%. The last armored trim is the snout armored trim, and just before we get to that, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But going back to the armored trim, the snout armored trim. They generate in a Piglin Bastion. You have an 8.3% chance per chest you open, so this might also be a hard one to find. And if you want to know where to find the netherite upgrade template, then the Piglin Bastion is also for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.